Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 5. This is our 5th day on site. Welcome to Ground Pass on site from the Cincinnati Open. You find me in the middle of the largest sort of fan areas on site. This is where fans can come and hang out, grab food from the food areas down over there, and come eat, hang out, escape the heat. There are tons of umbrellas here. While they're not watching matches and things, they can come and hang out here. If you've been watching these throughout, the series so far, I will insert clips throughout the video, so expect that. But yeah, the fan areas at the Cincinnati Open have expanded along with the renovations. So today we're going to talk about all of the fan areas and the new ones as well. So this area behind me here was here last year, but it's bigger and it's more open. Hi! But it's definitely more open and airy. I kind of like what they've done with it. Last year, it was more covered, I think, and dark. I think I have some photos or footage of what it looked like last year. And if I do, I will insert it here as well. But yeah, it just feels more airy, and I don't know if it's all the new sort of landscaping they've done. They've done a whole bunch of landscaping. I really am trying to get in touch with whoever is in charge of the landscaping on this site, because I really want to talk to them, because if you don't know, now you know I'm obsessed with plants. I have tons of plants in my apartment in New York. If I had a backyard, I would make it look like this, basically. So yeah, bigger area, tons of umbrellas, which, being here the last few days, I've been getting some comments on my skin, on videos I've posted. Guys, this is sweat. That's what it's not a glow, it's just sweat. It's fine. But yeah, it's nice that people can escape the heat with the umbrellas that are behind me here. And other than this big section here, which is the main area where people can hang out, there are little pockets around the site that kind of create more of a cozy feel, I feel like, as well, which is nice. There are actually even areas with sofas, which is actually nice and comfortable. There are a few places too with almost kind of almost beach chairs. There's a section where they're all like yellow, and then actually a section in front of me here where they're like blue and white, and they have big screens in front of them, so you can watch the tennis. You can watch whatever's going on center court, grandstand, basically all the show courts. You can watch whatever's going on there. There's also by the north side entrance, there is a covered section with a bar area, and then also kind of they're kind of like sponsored booths. So there's like a Wilson store there, and like some other sponsors of the tournament, they have like booths there. But then also there's seating. You can watch the tennis on the big screen. There's also like couches and different sections there. So if you're on the grounds and you're not on a stadium court, there is ample amount of places that you can hang out. It is, and I'm talking about the grounds public areas. What I'm not going to talk about in this is, and mostly because I don't really have access to it. I mean, I could go, but I feel like I want to keep this to what a general, person who buys a session ticket can access. These are the public areas they can access. There's still like other areas, like, there's like a private, bar area and lounges and stuff that's in mostly center court and grandstand as well. So I feel like they've definitely upped the ante in terms of areas where fans can hang out. And, the US Open has something like this, where I have always said that sometimes the US Open feels like an event kind of a social event. I feel sometimes that half the people who attend the US Open aren't even there for the tennis. They're there to see and be seen, you know? I'm not saying that this has that vibe yet, but it definitely has the vibe of, yes, you can just pop in and take a look at the tennis, but you can also just come out here and hang. You know, today's Sunday. The grounds are packed now. This is the night session. The second matches are about to start for the night session. Ben Shelton was playing on center court, but his opponent had to withdraw in the second set, so the second match is about to start there. Alina Svitolina is still going on grandstand. Champions Court is still going as well. So there's still stuff happening on the grounds, but the night session is definitely well underway. But yeah, people can still just show up, hang out, watch it on the big screen, maybe pop on a court, grab a drink, hang out with friends and stuff. That's the vibe it's given, which is really nice as well. But yeah, you're not gonna ever come here now, at least, and sort of be like, there's nowhere to sit, there's nowhere to hang, there's nowhere to like take shade or cover or anything like that. And something I'm going to include as well is there are all these sort of like green lawn spaces now where it's not specifically for hanging out, but I've seen people hang out there and just lay and lounge. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, wow, you know, someone could probably, you know, kind of like Hemman Hill, where people like bring their picnic and they can kind of hang out. These areas don't specifically have views to courts per se, but I could see someone bringing like a little picnic to just hang out and stuff. But yeah, it's great. They've done an awesome job. And all this grass that you see behind me is faux, which is good because I feel like it would not be, first of all, it wouldn't, in this heat, it would not be this green, that is for sure. But this is all faux grass that you see around me. But the plants and everything else, like the flowers and the hydrangeas, they're all real. Again, I'm gonna try my best to try and get that in one of these episodes that we do here. But yeah, that is the fan areas, the fan zone areas that you can kind of hang out while you're on site at the Cincinnati Open. What has gone on today tennis-wise? A lot. I have my notes here because I have to just look at who I've talked to today because it has been a lot. Like, just to kind of give you guys a preview of how my days go, just so you kind of get an understanding, because someone texted me today and was like, oh, you said, you know, I think maybe it was the podcast I said it, maybe, or maybe it was one of these videos, and I was kind of like saying like, oh, I'm the only one here and covering the tournament is like hard, and I didn't mean for it to sort of come off as, you know, like woe is me, because woe is definitely not me. Like, I could definitely be doing harder things. I'm at a tennis tournament covering tennis. Life is good. But it is still a lot of work. I tried to come to the grounds so the first match starts at 11. The gates open for fans at 10, an hour before the first match. The press room opens 2 hours before the first match. And that's when it opens for us to come in. I like to come in at kind of like 8:45, so I can like wander in. I have my coffee. I always make my coffee at my Airbnb. And this is why I love staying at an Airbnb versus hotel, because I have the freedom to kind of cook if I want to, make my own breakfast if I want to, make my own coffee and all of that stuff. I come in, it's chill, it's quiet, it's when I can think, it's when I can kind of like decide what I'm missing, what I haven't done yet, what I want to do. I plan the day out that way. And then I usually sit with my coffee and watch a practice. Today was Belinda Bencic, the other day was Iga Swiatek, whoever's practicing wherever I can find shade because it's been really, really hot in the sun in the mornings here. And then the first part of the morning is actually pretty chill. That's when I can usually like put out the Substack, go take photos, kind of plan what I want to do for the day. But the moment the first few matches start ending, it's like players start to come to press. Now, I definitely do not go to every single press conference because that is insane. And also, I just don't have questions for every single player. But I do have, I try to want to speak to sort of the young up-and-coming players, because that's what we try and do in Ground Pass, is educate you guys on who's up and coming, so that when you go on a Ground Pass or a tournament, you can be like, oh, I know who Ivanovic is, I know who Ella Seidel is, because you heard an interview from them or something like that. But they just come hard and fast, and before you know it, it's almost 9 and you're like, where did the day go? So it can really, really come around really fast. And I'm recording a day 5 video, and I can't believe I've been here 5 days already. So that's kind of how my days go. And I'm not just doing stuff that you're seeing on Instagram and on X and Blue Threads, I'm doing it again. But I'm not just doing that. Come on, guys. I'm interviewing people for future episodes of Meet the Player. I'm interviewing people for future episodes of Meet the Professionals. I'm, filming some stuff for a future series that I don't want to talk about yet, because I don't like talking about things until I'm for sure know that I can do them, So yeah, it's not just what you're seeing. If it was, I think it still wouldn't be easy. It really still wouldn't be easy. So a lot's going on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, but that's why I'm trying to bring it to you guys, so you can get an idea of what it takes to kind of run Ground Pass. And it's hard work. It takes time. If you have any questions about like what it takes to do it, ask away. It's funny because I interviewed Nick McCarville for an episode of Meet the Professionals that will come sometime in the future. And we were kind of talking shop a little bit like this of what it takes to get into it and get into sort of tennis media, and how it's totally different now. And the way I'm doing it is totally different. It's not traditional, Anyway, back to the tennis and what happened today. So let's see, who did I interview? So I kind of mentioned the first 2 people that I did interview today that will be coming as future Meet the Player interviews are Ella Seidel and Ivanovic. Now, Ivanovic, we've talked about both a lot on podcasts, especially Nick. And Ivanovic was in qualies for this tournament and lost, and she came in as a lucky loser, and now she's into the 3rd round. She defeated who was she playing against now? I'm totally blanking. Linda Noskova. She was playing Linda Noskova and beat her 3-0. That's 6-3, 6-love. That is an incredible scoreline. And it was really lovely talking to her today, learning about her Serbian roots, because also at her court, the Serbians were out and they were loud and proud, and it was so nice to see, because you think of her, at least I did, she's an American player. She's more than that. So it was really nice getting to know her there. And then Ella Seidel, who came in as a qualifier. She defeated Emma Navarro in a match today. Emma Navarro, whose dad actually owns this tournament. So these renovations he paid for. Her story is so interesting. She's actually here alone, which is fascinating. She has a coach, but he hasn't been traveling with her. So she's kind of been sharing a coach with a German doubles team. And she got injured in Wimbledon. This is only her 2nd tournament back. She's coming back from injury. She didn't really expect anything much from this tournament. She was just trying to get matches. And now she's in the 3rd round. And she's excited because she doesn't get to play at this level. And she loves the site and, having these facilities and things like that. So it's really great to get to know players like that. Talk to Carlos Alcaraz, our little drummer boy, as I like to call him. He had a 3-set match today, kind of went away in the second set there. Don't really know how, because he played a phenomenal first set, and then the second set, his tennis just went away. It just went away. He found it again a bit in the third, and he actually went and he hit the practice courts right after the third, so I got to ask him in press, why? Why did he go, was he looking for something specific? A shot, like was he practicing something? And he just said he was just trying to find his game again, or keep that good feeling, because he lost the good feeling in the second set. And he said specifically, and I will leave all the audio as usual in the newsletter that we post, but he lost the good feeling in the second, and he says specifically in Cincinnati, because the courts are so fast, if you lose that good feeling, it's so hard to find again. So when he found it in the third, he literally just wanted to go back out and play again and find and keep that good feeling. So talk to him. Andrey Rublev, talked to him because he was playing Learner Tien today. He beat him, but he just lost to him in Washington, so wanted to ask him about that. Coco Gauff was in press as well after her match. We got into Love Island. You have to listen to the audio to just figure out. I don't watch Love Island. She really got obsessed with it. In fact, she had to delete X from her phone because she got too obsessed with it. But really, really interesting interview. Jasmine Paolini, another person trying to find form as well. Got to talk to her in press. And who else? And Jessica Pegula. Jessica Pegula is on the player council, so all her interviews are usually very, very insightful about what is going on behind the scenes with the players and how they feel. And very similar to the Maria Sakkari one that we posted. I'm actually going to, after this, go post it. It was very much an insight into how they feel about the 2-week tournaments. They're not loving it. They are not loving it. But pretty much that is it. I just want to check the scores to see where we are at right now. But, well, Alina Svitolina is down in the third. Barbara Krejcikova is 2 breaks up, so she might take that. Brandon Nakashima is fighting back in the third as well, or trying to at least. And who else is playing? Oh, Karolina Mukova just took the court against Caroline Garcia. So I might actually go watch that for a bit. Yeah, I might go watch that in between some work and stuff. Grab some dinner, bring you the updates of that tomorrow. What will we do tomorrow? I still haven't decided yet what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm a little scared because I do want to cover the food. And I might do 2 things tomorrow. My thing is, I'm such a creature of habit. I literally have had the exact same dinner every single night I've been here. There's a Korean bowl place here. It's basically Korean Chipotle. I've had it every single day. And in order to do the food, I feel like I have to try some stuff. And there's a lot of stuff here. So let's see. Come back tomorrow to see what I do. Bye, guys.